Ahoy, me children! Your father has brought you a swatching video.
Your father has brought you a swatching video.
Clearly I'm not a pirate. Prism Parade just... Imagine if I did that the entire time. Prism Parade just released their Tidecursed collection consisting of 6 new moody sunken shades. Today I'll be swatching the new collection, comparing them to things in my collection, testing them out over black, and maybe as an extra little treasure, making a nautical themed nail art. But before we get into the rest of the video, I do want to mention that at PBE, Jill, the brand owner of Prism Parade, and I became really good friends. I want to disclose that even though we're close, I'm gonna do my best to try to remain as unbiased as possible. That said, this is my favorite Prism Parade collection to date because if I'm not pretending to be a cowboy, I'm pretending to be a pirate. Plus, spooky is my favorite thing ever. Oh, also, I do want to mention that I have an affiliate code with Prism Parade, so if you want to save 10% off at checkout, use code ND10. Now let's hoist the sail, raise the anchor, and dive into these swatches.
Yarr.
Yarr. Is he... you know, a pirate. Up first is Dead Reckoning. This is described as a deep navy-based polish with a gold to orange shimmer that appears as a rich dark brown on the nail. Well, not in the first coat. Early on, this is a blue-based polish with a very intense golden shimmer. Although I will note that this was very easy to overwork on the first coat as I picked up some of the previously painted polish during a final swipe, which required an extra dip into the bottle to fix. Now once you start the second coat, the dark brown aspect starts to show as there is enough built-up blue pigment to pull the golden shimmer into the brown territory. And you could stop there, but I painted a third coat as the blue ring around my nail indicated it was thinner at the edges and needed to be built up slightly more. And holy f***ity this is stunning at full opacity. It is this dark golden blue that plays tricks on my mind and I'm so obsessed. Now for today's comparisons, we have a little slice of cake to indicate the new polish. But also sidebar, you need to find the sticker lore that is developing on this channel. A subscriber has been creating this deep and engaging dramatic backstory for every sticker that shows up and I just live for it every single time. I just want to know how Doug the Donut and Clarence the Cupcake are going to react when a hot new bombshell enters the villa. Anyways, for the comparisons, I have nothing like Dead Reckoning as the closest golden shimmery polishes I have that approach brown both have purple base colors. So I tried to dupe it myself by using a navy base and adding a red and golden shimmer. The end result is nowhere the same as you can't just dupe a shimmery polish by slapping shimmer on a creme, but it's a touch similar, so I'm gonna be like Linry and give myself a point here just because I can. Go watch Linry if you don't, she's amazing. So if you can't tell, we're starting off real strong with this polish. I just really love the idea of creating a brown polish that doesn't have any brown pigment in it. It just feels so interesting and creative and cool. Like I was genuinely so confused when I first saw this polish. Oh, stop.
Red?
No, it's like a deep blue and with a gold. Jill, what is this? What is this?
Who are you?
Wait a minute. Who are you? And I'm still stunned by this polish to this day, so it's gonna get 5 zombie pirates who break their vow of silence to tell a story out of 5. I really hope people get that. I think that's so funny. Tell no tales. Moving on, we have Gilded Grudge. This is described as a bronze gold lacquer with a golden shimmer, and I was initially quite worried that this would be a flesh nail on me. Woo. But even on the first coat, it was clear that it is an orange-leaning warm gold without approaching coral flesh. As for the application, it had quite even coverage and surprised me getting to full opacity in just 2 coats. Typically I worry about coverage with polishes this light, but I think the bronze tone helped this reach full opacity quickly. As for comparisons, I have quite a few golds I can put it next to because I love me some golden polish. I think the closest is either Holo Taco's Bottle Service or Starly's 3.14K gold. However, the texture is more similar to another Prism Parade polish, that being Golden Mirage. And while I didn't have the recent Holo Taco drop at the time of filming these comparisons, I wanted to put it next to Boom Toasted as that is also a shimmery yellow polish. However, that's really where the similarities end as Boom Toasted is a straw yellow gold while Gilded Grudge is a bronzy orange gold. And so overall, I really like this one. Wait, let me read you my notes I I took while I was swatching. Holy f***, I love this one. 2 coats, great coverage, great color, yum. So this gets 5 jars of dirt out of 5. And next up we have Fortune's Folly. This is described as a turquoise and gold metallic flake polish with a dash of hollow sparkle. As for the application, I painted 3 coats here as there were some thinner spots on the sides of the nail. However, when I painted this on my other hand, it got to full coverage in 2 coats. So I'd say this is probably a 2-coater if you are more careful with the application. As for the formula, I'd say it's more of a turquoise polish with a gold flake, as there is less gold than turquoise. That said, I really like the addition of the gold flake as it gives this color texture in addition to the visual texture from the metallic flakes. However, since the color is a very light turquoise that may approach teal in some lighting, there's actually very little color contrast between the gold and turquoise, meaning that the gold will hide on the nail and only be apparent when you are really looking for it or in some less direct lighting. And honestly, this makes me like it even more because it feels like the gold flakes are golden doubloons that are trapped beneath the waves. As for comparisons, Danglefoot's Mutant and Proud, which was a PBE 2025 exclusive shade, is pretty spot on for the tone, just ever so slightly bluer. Hence why I thought this looked a little teal and put it next to Holo Taco's Teal with it. Color and general formula wise, they look very similar, however I did have to add a gold flake taco to Teal with it to match. And honestly, I think this is a pretty good dupe if you missed out on the Holo Taco David's Tea collection, as long as you don't mind the extra gold flakes. And also, I did put it next to the recent metallic flake polish from Holo Taco, that being Stop Buggin'. They are really only similar in formula, as Stop Bugging is ultimately a green polish. And I know I'm starting to sound like a broken record here, but I really liked this one too. Look, I really think I meant it when I said that this is probably my favorite Prism Parade collection.
Can you try to say Prism?
I really love the tealy turquoise space color, but the addition of the gold flakes adds something that, while isn't that impactful, really makes a difference to me. That's a contradiction, but I don't care, I like this one. So I'm gonna give this 5 people who doubted that the steamboat would ever be an effective method of nautical transportation out of 5.
What the f is this about?
This is like the singular thing that I remember from 10th grade history class. It's called Fulton's Folly. Do you know what I'm talking about?
If you think that I paid attention in 10th grade history class, you are very wrong.
Fulton's Folly. I was close. It was the nickname of like the first commercial steamboat, and people were like, it's never going to work. It's a folly. And this polish is called Fortune's Folly, and this is Fulton's Folly. Big brain. And moving right along, we have Fathoms Below. This is described as a turquoise-based lacquer with green to indigo shimmer and a holographic glitter. Now, I personally disagree because I don't see much more than green here. Like, it's still pretty, but to me, I don't see the indigo or turquoise aspect. On the first coat, it had an incredibly smooth application, meaning that it has a strong potential as a topper. And on the second coat, I got it to full coverage, which surprised me as I generally expect shimmery polishes to be on the more sheer side. As for the comparisons, these are so bad. I'm so sorry. I think the problem was that I was so convinced that this is a green polish that I grabbed some deep green multichromes such as Serpents of Eden or Under the Aurora, when actually the closest is probably Victorian Varnish's BFF, as they both have a similar blurrine aspect, however BFF is considerably darker.
Can you define blurrine for the children who may have not watched the Franken?
Well, A, watch the Franken video, and B, she won Eurovision from Sweden.
I'm screaming, but you still did not define blurrine.
It's blue and green. Blurrine. Like Blurple, but with the green side. Blurrine. B-L-U-R-E-E-N. A color that is blue and green. Now I like this one, but it isn't a 5 out of 5 like the others so far. That was dumb, I'm sorry. I have nothing against it, but I think the others rank higher to me because they all share this golden aspect, which this is the only polish in the collection that doesn't have that. Now for Nail Husband, Now for Nail Husband, he disagrees with me and this is actually his favorite from the collection because he thinks it looks really blue and makes him think of mermaids. So chat, does this look green or blue to you? Children, your parents are fighting, who's right? Regardless, this gets 4 reverse mermaids out of 5. Moving on, we have Leviathan. This is described as a blue-based polish with a gold to green shimmer and hollow glitter. And she was also so pretty in the first coat as it applied so evenly. And while I'm not a low opacity manicure girly, this wash of blue with the gold is quite tasty.
Don't eat nail polish.
Yeah, but like, doesn't it sometimes just look so delectable? Like, don't eat it. But like, haven't you ever like looked at something and just be like, I know that's not edible, but like, what would that be like in my mouth? Unfortunately, even after 3 coats, there was still quite a bit of visible nail line in the spotlight, though I do want to note that it was less noticeable in indirect lighting. So I'd probably suggest wearing some kind of blurring base coat for this polish. And the last thing I did want to note is that I wrote down that there was some staining with this one. I honestly can't tell y'all how much staining there was or even what color, because I swatched this weeks ago before recording this and school started today, so my brain is bzzz. Now the first thing I thought of when painting this is Wanderlust from Holo Taco's recent travel collection. While they are ultimately different polishes, they definitely have similar vibes as they are both blue based with a gold to green shimmer. So even though they aren't dupes, Leviathan could be a good replacement if you missed picking up Wanderlust. I personally prefer Leviathan more because it's more like the golden bluer version of Wanderlust. Plus the added hollow sparkle is a really nice touch. That said, I still don't love polishes that aren't full coverage at 3 coats, so I think I'm gonna give this 3.5 discarded socks from Davy Jones's locker out of 5.
Like it's an actual locker.
Like, I know it's not, but like, what's a locker? I hardly know her. And before we return to shore, our last polish is Whispers from the Deep. This is described as a purple lacquer with fuchsia gold orange shimmer laced with gold microflakes. On the first coat, it was a little pinker than I was expecting because it is so purple in the bottle. But once it was built up to full opacity, it was more of a purpley pink with a shimmer that seemed to flash red to me. This was done in 3 coats, but I assumed 2 would be fine for others as I painted my first 2 coats unevenly and needed a 3rd coat to get to the edges of the nail.
Pirates of the Caribbean, Edge of the World of Extinction.
You just named a Pirates movie and then somehow put in an Ice Age movie? Edge of Extinction, wasn't that an Ice Age movie? Wasn't it like Ice Age 5 or something like that? The last Ice Age movie. It probably wasn't.
Not. I put that scrat everywhere.
Huh? I thought you said scat.
It's squirrel rat. It's S-Q-R-A-T.
I didn't know that.
What did you think it was?
A made-up word, like scat, but with a...
Well, it is, but it's a portmanteau.
What'd you do to his toe?
We
are 6 degrees
off a tangent, off another tangent.
We are like at least 4 Kevin Bacons away right now. Oh my god, that was a journey. I'm so sorry if I end up using this.
You won't. There's no way. That was like 30 seconds.
Dost thou doubt my editing ability? As for the gold microflakes, they add a nice surprise when you're looking for them, but like Fortune's Folly, there's not a significant color contrast between flake and base color to be the star of the show. But what I found to be really crazy was that when this was put next to other pinky purples, it legit looks like an entirely different color. In fact, we had to double check if I actually even swatched it here, as it looks so different from the previous lighting. I think that the shimmer and the gold flakes are doing something to this to pull it in a darker, maybe warm eggplant direction, making none of the comparisons that close. If I had to pick the closest, I think maybe Star-Crossed Lovers, but if the warm purpley shimmer part was the entire nail.
Warm eggplant? Papa Ganoush? I think that's what Papa Ganoush is.
Didn't she come out as gay after scaring that kid?
I don't know what.
The Babadook. Now, Jill did warn me that there was going to be a pinky shade in this collection, but I'm not that mad because it's really more of a purpley pink than a pink pink.
It's not a pink at all, it's purple.
I was really expecting you to go,
oh my god, I haven't done that in so long.
no.
Pink!
There we go. Plus, I'm honestly convinced that Jill put Gold Flake in here just so I wouldn't hate it. Jill, can you confirm? So all in all, I actually like this one, so I think it's gonna get 4 suspicious bubbles that float up when you're not in a hot tub out of 5. Please tell me you get that. Whispers from the Deep. Thank you. Thank you, I will be here in the next video. And here is the whole collection altogether. I personally love the golden through line in most of the shades. It helps tie together colors that don't form a clear rainbow or traditional color palette. And even though I rated several 5s, I think my absolute standout has to be Dead Reckoning, as I'm kind of obsessed with the fact that this is a fake brown due to the combination of the blue base and a golden shimmer. But also, y'all need to see how nice this collection looks in less intense lighting. And I gotta point out that I think I do finally see some blue in Fathoms Below, so I might have to give it to Nail Husband with this one.
Yay. I win. Again.
As I said earlier, this is probably my favorite Prism Parade collection because of the overall color palette. But I do also want to take a moment to share how obsessed I am with the marketing material that went into this launch created by Jill and her husband Dan. Like in the PR box, they had a spooky nautical poem on this weathered paper, and I can tell how much fun they had playing with the theme. I just love the moody spooky vibe, but then pairing moody spooky with pirates? Well, shiver me timbers. Now, one thing I love to do with shimmery polishes is to test them over black, as the base color typically disappears and the shimmer has unexpected results. Like how Dead Reckoning loses its blue base and is now a deep, dark, shiny brown polish. However, some polishes don't look that different, as Gilded Grudge and Fathoms Below just look slightly darker. Now, non-shimmer only polishes such as Fortune's Folly and Whispers of the Deep tend to not work as well, as they apply a touch streaky since they're not meant to be toppers. That said, Whispers from the Deep applied really smooth and turned into this rich, deep, but also desaturated purple with golden flakes that I'm pretty obsessed with. However, my winner is probably Leviathan, as it's this deep golden green that is just so stunning. Now, after playing with this collection over black, I wanted to try playing with them over a lighter color. So I decided to attempt some kind of watery ocean nail art by starting with a base layer of Ivory Tower by Hollow Taco. For the lowest layer, I grabbed a tiny piece of a makeup sponge and dabbed on Leviathan in some kind of random zigzag pattern, which I then filled in some of the gaps using Fathoms Below to add some green into the mix. And lastly, I went in with Fortune's Folly, as I was hoping I can grab some of the gold flakes to embed at the bottom of the ocean. Now, to make the light reflecting off the water, I went back in with the warm white using my liner brush. Which, quick tip, if you rotate the brush while pulling it through the polish, you can get thinner lines, as there is a more evenly distributed amount of polish on the brush. As for the lines, I tried to make a series of stretched out wiggly Y's, lowercase l's, and x's, which is actually the same technique that I used to paint tiger stripes, just with black. And I'd recommend alternating between upright and upside down Y's, and putting L's in between and turning at least one Y into an X. Now, this was cute, but was a little too Water Tribe Tony the Tiger, so I wanted to embed the white under some more blue. But because I was worried dabbing more colors on top would push the stripes around, I added a quick dry top coat first, which was then followed up with a very light dabbing of just Leviathan. Now, if you've noticed my horrible cuticles right now, it's because I foolishly decided to forego a liquid latex barrier, so I had to clean it up with my cleanup brush dipped in acetone before adding my top coat. However, on another finger, I tried cleaning up with a Q-tip, which I would probably recommend as it was far quicker. And here is the completed ocean wave nail art look. Honestly, I really love how this came out. I think the polish layered really nicely and does give this illusion of depth, as it did ultimately turn into ocean as opposed to tiger. But I think my favorite part comes from all of the golden elements that peek through, giving this a golden opalescent effect that I'm a huge fan of. So now that you've seen everything, let me know what you think in the comments below. Are these shades the buried treasure ye seek, or do they belong in Davy Jones's locker? God, I'm so bad at a pirate impression. And I know by now you may be starting to write a comment, but where's the WOMO? Well, no mo. In my last video, I talked about Hollow Taco's new sticky base coat, so I'm actually using my other hand to try to experiment with the base coats that I have. And since I'm trying to give it time to chip, which chip it has and bothers me so much. This is gonna take time. So for this leg of the test, I'm wearing a black creme topped with one of the polishes from my collab collection with Tyler's Trinkets, the Golden Hour Rodeo. Introducing Gold and Them There Hills. This is a golden, shimmery, and flaky filled topper that I have been obsessed with since we finalized the formula. It has a golden shimmer, gold flakes, and a red to gold shifting metallic flake that I just can't wait to tell y'all the story for this one.
Okay, I'm coming. Impatient little boy.
Okay, now you've seen everything, so as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye. I have so much sand in between my toes.